It is universally agreed that the cowboy is an icon of the American personality and way of life. What is not commonly known is that Hawaiian Paniolos predate American cowboys by over 15 years. In 1793, Captain George Vancouver presented King Kamehameha I with the gift of a small herd of cattle. The cattle flourished and the herd grew to monumental proportions, eventually becoming a major nuisance to the islanders. So in 1832, King Kamehameha III brought 3 Spanish vaqueros from California to train Hawaiians the art of handling horses and cattle. From that simple beginning has come the tradition and lifestyle of the Hawaiian Paniolo.
My father was originally from England. As a boy, he always used to read about America and the West, and eventually moved to America at a very young age and went to school, and he went to Cal Poly. While he was there, he ended up rooming with a bunch of boys from Hawaii that were all cowboys, mainly from the Big Island. And when they got done, they asked him, hey, Duke, what are you gonna do? Come to Hawaii. That's where he met my mom. And he's always had a passion, to get into ranching, and that's what sparked my interest. So I went to the University of Hawaii and got a degree in animal science myself. At the same time, me and my dad started our own ranch. We have a Rocking W ranch out there in Koloa. I don't think everybody could be a cowboy or a rancher. And it's a hard thing to explain, that feeling. But if you have it, you understand it. I think a good cowboy or cattleman is always focused on the well-being of the animal and work in a way that they reduce the stress, make it as easy and comfortable for them. And for me, I'm very passionate about the lifestyle. I think that more people should actually spend time out farming or ranching. I think, society has got caught up in the concrete jungle.
If you want to be a rancher, you have to have really good work ethic. You gotta be disciplined, and you gotta have an organized day. You gotta always know what you're gonna do and be prepared for anything.
You got different tasks you have to accomplish on the ranch, whether it be moving your cattle, because when they graze a certain paddock to the ground, they won't have feed. You're gonna have to move them to the next paddock. You also are gonna have some maintenance, fixing gates, fixing fences, feeding your horses that are in the corral.
2 of my good dogs, 1 horse, that's all I needed. I could get a lot of work done, but at ease. We just asked them to go out there and walk, so the animals are, or the cows or horses are paying attention and watching them, every little move they do. And once they know that we're here and we want to go there, just a little bit of movement, and the animals are gonna just go in that direction.
You have to have pride in your herd there. You want your herd to look the best, as they possibly can. It's a way of life. I'm very blessed that my daughter gets to grow up, this way.
I love it because I'm a hardy person, and I also can be very gentle. So, the animals help you to be aggressive at times, and it helps you to be at ease.
drive the whole herd into the corral, and then we have a chute that we drive them down the chute and separate the calves and the wean-offs and the moms.
We rope them and we bring them out, and we have guys on the ground that bring them down, and we put our ropes on, stretch them out, and we brand them. And if we gotta cut like a bull, we don't want it to be a bull, we'll cut down and then doctor them up, and then we let them go right back to their mother.
Back in the late 1960s, 1969, a gentleman, Bill Morey, decided to bring bison to Hawaii. Originally got 6 cows and 4 bulls out of Colorado. And he owned that section of Hanalei Valley and thought, well, I'll just bring some bison to Hawaii.
The herd itself, I had an opportunity to share my expertise when they first set foot on the North Shore here on Kauai. At the present time, I worked for Princeville Ranch. We were running beef cattle, and that parcel was sold to Mr. Morey. At the container, we noticed that they were getting really antsy. They were banging up against the walls and wanting to come at you if you're within 10 feet. They didn't feel comfortable being that close, and I try to share that knowledge today.
We were hired on, number one is to get the herd back into a healthy, sustainable herd. We will be bringing in genetics from the mainland to improve the genetics here. So it's a learning curve for both of us because we're trying to retrain them and do it in a way that we don't ruin what they already have.
If you just take time to observe and watch them graze and go through the acreage, there's a pat where they're comfortable at, and we just allow them time to choose that pat and use that as a tool.
Typical roundup. We'd start off by setting up our gates to our corral, setting up our wing fence gate. We'd get our guys together, organized.
We use the ATVs in the terrain that we're in. It's a lot of swampy grounds. It's harder for the horses.
Then we'd go out, start at the back end of the pasture. Make sure we kind of scan the pasture best we can to make sure we don't leave any behind. It's a very slow process.
When you get them in the direction that they want to go, that you just kind of have to keep with it. You don't want to like over push them where they stress out and then they just start to break off. But
the first time we drove them through, we just made them go right through the corral and we let them back out. And then recently we've been actually locking them up for about an hour or two. And
The bison are going to come down this alleyway, hopefully, right? They're going to run through the corral and into the holding pen.
They tend to clam up around tight quarters, so as you get closer to the corral, the lane gets smaller and smaller, so you need to go real slow once you get close.
once they turn around and when they make up their mind that they turn around and they're going back to where they came, there's nothing you're gonna do to stop that, you know. So.
He applied a little bit too much pressure, ended up turning around and almost running a few guys over.
Watch out, watch out. Hey, 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 ah, hey, 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 hey.
And if they all go in easily, we just go up there, close the gate. That's pretty much our roundup.
Once we get them in and they start to get a little bit more comfortable, we're going to start to worm them and vaccinate and doctor if necessary. I'll start to kind of wean off the cat on the moms. And
we learned a lot of changes we got to do, but it was good. It was successful. We got them, the majority of them, wormed and fly sprayed. Now we know where we need to fix and improve. So all in all, I'd say it was a successful roundup.
And it's challenging. I mean, we learn every time we go, and personally, I feel that it's a learning experience as we go along. I am able to learn new things. I'm 57 years old. To me, it's like, with all that knowledge, done a lot of things around animals. And to me, horses, cattle, whatever, pigs, whatever you may think, having an opportunity to work with the bison is like my little void of expertise. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it.